Hi, I'm Claire from Inspiratrix Yoga. The theme of this class is all about channeling golden light into your skull and into your spine, and then exhaling and breathing out any smog, any stress, any tension, any toxins you're letting go, like just breathing out anything you don't want. We'll start sitting on the mat, and if you have a yoga block or two, that would be useful for today. And then once you've landed on your mat, close your eyes and focus on your breathing. If you're comfortable with using Ujjayi breathing, where there's that slight whispering sound in your breath caused by narrowing the back of your throat, then switch your Ujjayi breathing on. If you don't enjoy Ujjayi breathing, then instead just breathe deeply in and out through your nose, slowing and lengthening your breath. With each breath, letting your breath extend, letting your breath deepen. So your breath is filling as much of your lungs as you can as you breathe in. And then emptying out as much as you can when you breathe out. Playing with extending the range of your inhale and the range of your exhale. So there's a lengthening on both parts of your breath. Really allowing yourself the space and the time to breathe much deeper and slower than you have done all day. And as you stay present to your breath, deepening and slowing your breath, allowing that to help you focus in on your body, on your physical sensation, on your experience of this moment. On your experience of each moment of your breath. For today, let's work with a particular intention that is partly about breath and partly about connecting to your spine. As you inhale, imagine golden light filling your spine and your skull. Then as you exhale, breathe out any tension, any stress, anything you want to let go of. Imagining that coming out as like grey smog. So with your inhale, you're drawing golden light into your spine and your skull. As you exhale, breathing out any old energy, any stuck energy, anything you don't need. So playing with that. Inhaling the golden light. Exhaling the grey clouds. Let's add in a little bit of movement to this. I'll show you from the side. Let's continue with that visualization and that intention through the whole class. But let's add in some movement now. So as you inhale, rock forwards on your sitting bones, lift your chest, lift your chin just a little bit, doing a mini back bend as you breathe in the golden light. And then as you exhale the grey clouds, round your back. So rock backwards on your sitting bones, pull your belly in, let your head come forwards. So inhale, mini back bend, breathing in golden light. As you exhale, rounding your back, breathing out grey smog. Feeling for bringing some movement to your spine. And don't take your head too far back, so don't stress your neck vertebrae by going all the way back, just looking up a little bit. Feeling for rocking forwards and backwards on your sitting bones to help you access this movement in your spine. Great. Let's do some side-to-side movement now. And you can continue that pattern of inhaling the golden light and exhaling the grey smog. Let's change our leg position as well. Straighten your right leg out in front of you and cross your left leg over the top into half knee pile. And then let's go this way into a side bend. So left hand on the floor. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, easing over into a side bend. Letting your left shoulder drop down too. Continuing to stay connected to your spine. Building awareness there as we do the practice today. Notice your face and jaw. If you're carrying tension there, allow those areas to soften. With knee pile, have your foot crossed right over so it's kind of coming down to the floor on the other side. And then have both sitting bones grounded on the floor or block or grass or whatever you're sitting on. Okay, then bring your arm down and come into a forward bend, just leaning forwards towards your legs. Inhale, lift your rib cage and chest up a little bit. Exhale, keeping that lift, soften forwards, and then let your head relax forwards too. Let your bottom jaw soften and relax. Maybe slide your bottom jaw from side to side, very slowly, feeling any tension and softening that. Okay, inhale and sit up. Exhale and change your legs over the other way. So your left leg straight, right leg's crossed over the top. Now bring your right hand down to the floor. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, lean a little to the side, but keep both sitting bones on the floor. This is not about sort of dropping all the way down. It's just about coming into a bit of a side bend. Then come back to the intention, inhaling golden light into your spine and your skull. Exhaling out any smog. Then bring your top arm down and lean forwards into a forward bend. Have your feet active. Inhale and sit all the way up. Exhale, bring the soles of your feet together into Baddha Konasana. Or if that doesn't feel comfortable in your hips, then sit any other way. Let's do a few rounds of lion's breath and Uddiyana. Take your fingers behind you to start with. Inhale and lift your chest up into a mini back bend. Then do a lion's breath. Come forward, hold your breath and do Uddiyana. So as you breathe out, stick your tongue out, roar, bring your hands forward. When you're empty of air, pull your belly back and up and in. Hold for as long as you can. And then we'll repeat 3 more times. Fingertips behind, deep breath in. Lift your chest. Then do lion's breath and Uddiyana. When you're doing the pulling in belly bit, you stay empty of air. So don't breathe in right away. Do 2 more rounds. Come back to your normal deep yoga breathing or ujjayi breathing. Bring your knees together, straighten out your legs and circle your ankles. And then circle around the other way. Great. Come onto your back now. Let's do some abs with a roll. So for this, you'll need a folded cushion or a rolled up mat, or a wide yoga block could work as well. Let's go into this in stages. So every stage will get a little harder than the previous one. And if any stage sort of feels uncomfortable in your back, go back to the sort of previous level. So you're kind of working at strengthening that feels in a place that feels kind of not stressful. All right, so start on your back with the prop between your thighs, feet on the floor, hands on your belly. Inhale, filling your spine and your skull with golden light. Exhale, gather your belly in. Breathe out some grey smoke. Inhaling, relaxing your belly. Exhaling, gathering your belly in. Also squeeze your thighs onto your prop. Stay with just that simple action. Okay, now take your hands, clasp them together, and rest the weight of your head in your hands. Wrap your elbows around your head so they point up towards the ceiling. Huge breath in, inhaling golden light. Pause, squeeze your prop, activate your feet, and press your lower back down. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders up off the floor, point your elbows to the ceiling, and gather your belly in. Inhale and slowly return your head and shoulders down to the floor. Pause, squeeze the block, press lower back down. Exhale, lift head and shoulders up, point your elbows to the ceiling, gather your belly in. Do 2 more of these. Rest your head on the floor. Now we'll go to a more advanced version. Hold on to your block, lift both feet up off the floor, and then replace your block or your prop in between your thighs. If you want to repeat the version with the feet on the floor, you totally could do that instead. Okay. Inhale, hands behind your head, flex your feet. Pause, squeeze your thighs onto your prop. Press the top of your sacrum down towards the floor so your tailbone lifts up away from the floor. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. Point both elbows to the ceiling. Gather your belly in. Inhale and slowly return your head and shoulders down to the floor. Pause, squeeze the prop. Press the top of your sacrum down. Exhale, head and shoulders lift up. Squeeze your prop, gather your belly in. Inhale, head and shoulders lower down. Do 2 more of those. Okay, after that round you could stay with this leg position, or if you wanted to do the hardest one, you could take your legs straight up in the air. Have your ankles above your hips. So again, they're a little bit bent, but they're not sort of dropping forwards. The ankles are above your hips. Okay, deep breath in all the way to the back of your hips. Squeeze the prop, press the top of your sacrum down. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders up, point your elbows to the ceiling, gather your belly in. Inhale and slowly lower your head and shoulders down to the floor. Squeeze the prop, press your top of the sacrum down. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders up. Point your elbows up, gather your belly in. Do 2 more of these. Keep your feet active. Feet are not together. If your feet are together, your prop is too small. So if your feet are kind of together, next time use something that's bigger. Or fold the cushion up more. Yeah. Okay, after that round, bring your head to the floor, and then bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor. Put your prop to one side. Close your eyes and come back to that visualization. Inhaling golden light to your spine and your skull. Exhaling out some grey smog. Letting go any tensions or troubles. Okay, next we'll do dipping frog. For this one, your head and shoulders stay on the floor, but you lift both feet up off the floor. Inhale and internally rotate your right leg. Your right knee stays over your hip, but your right foot's coming out to the side. Push the lower back rib cage down towards the floor. Keep it pressed down. Exhale, bring your right foot down in the direction of the floor. It might tap the floor, but it's not going to rest on the floor. Inhale, right leg comes back up. Internally rotate the left leg. Press the lower back ribs down. Exhale, left foot heads down in the direction of the floor. It doesn't have to touch the floor. And if it does touch the floor, you're not putting your weight in it. Inhale, left leg comes back up. Slightly different thing now. Take both legs into frog. So there's a bit of external rotation in your legs. Legs stay bent to 90 degrees. Exhale, gather your belly in. Inhale, bring your knees back together. Internally rotate your left leg. Press your lower back ribs down. Exhale, heel comes down in the direction of the floor. Inhale, leg comes back up. Internally rotate right leg. Press lower back ribs down. Exhale, heel comes down in the direction of the floor. Inhale, leg comes back up, and then bring both legs into frog. Exhale, gather your belly in. Inhale, bring your knees back together, and then continue. Do 2 more like full sets of dipping frog. And after you finish the round you're on, then bring your knees back together and your feet to the floor. Letting your belly relax after that work. Next we'll do bridge with the hips on a block. If you don't have a block, then you could either we'll be doing like one leg up in the air, and we'll be doing like one leg at a right angle. Kind of like that. You see that? There we go. Like that. With the hips elevated and in bridge. If you don't have a block, you could also do the leg position things with the back of the hips on the ground. So take a block if you've got one. Set yourself up for bridge and then lift your hips up. Lift your hips up into sort of whatever the highest comfortable bridge you can do. And then take your prop and support the back of your hips on your block. You could try this with like multiple cushions as well, or even a stack of blocks. That can work quite nicely. But there's something underneath the back of your hips. It's not pressing into the lower back, into the lumbar spine. It's more the pelvis bones that are being supported. And then notice how this feels, this bridge, whether you have a block today or not. Have your feet slightly active. And then move your right foot to the middle a little. Lift your left knee up towards your chest, and then your left foot up towards the ceiling. If you don't have a block, you can either do this with the hips lifted, if that feels okay in your back, or just bring your hips down to the floor and then lift your left leg up. Right foot stays really grounded on the floor. So one foot's on the floor, one foot's up in the air. Inhaling golden light to your spine. Exhaling out grey smog. Second leg position, bend the leg that's in the air, and then take the outside edge of that ankle, of your left ankle, rest it on top of your right knee. And then your left knee will drop to the side. Keep your hips level though, whether they're on the block or on the ground or lifted. Notice if you're forcing your left hip down, keep your left hip the same height as your right hip. Flex your left foot and ground down through your right foot. Okay, then change sides. Bring your left foot down to the floor. Bring your right knee up into the air, and then take your right foot up in the air. Spread open the toes on your right foot, making space between the toes, and then also press down through your left foot. So both feet and legs are active in different ways. And then bend your right leg. Place the outside edge of your right ankle onto your left thigh. Flex your right foot. Keep a sense of activity in your right leg. Then unhook your foot, bring it down to the floor. Set your feet so they're even, and then lift your hips. Remove any blocks or cushions, And then slowly come down to the floor. Coming to you landing flat on the floor. Taking a moment to feel the support of the floor or the grass underneath you. Okay, then roll onto one side. Come onto your hands and knees. Let's come into downward facing dog. So curl your toes under. Lift your knees up, stretch your hips back. And then wrap your shoulder blades. Move your shoulder blades to the sides and towards your armpits so that your upper arms widen and the space between your shoulder blades gets wider. Connect your spine here. Notice how your spine is in downward facing dog right now. And then step your feet towards your hands and your hands towards your feet. And make your way up to standing. There we go. Great. Can you see me? Yes, you can. Great. Let's do a series of two or three pose vignettes, 2 or 3 pose mini sequences linked together by sun salutations. When we do, well, there'll be half sun salutations in between. If your shoulders, if it doesn't feel good in your shoulders and arms or your back or your knees to do the half sun salutations, the alternative in between each side is to do mountain pose. So I'll remind you at that point that you get to choose what you want to do. Start at one of the short ends of the mat, facing towards the short end of the mat. We'll start with a slow half sun salutation. Inhale, bring your arms forwards. Exhale, bend your knees and come into chair for a moment, taking your hips back, like a squat. Inhale, lift your chest a little. Exhale, fold forwards into a forward bend. Let your neck relax. Plank. Inhale, walk or step your feet back into plank. Exhale, lower yourself down to the floor. You could bring your knees to the floor if you need to. Inhale into cobra. Peel your chest up away from the floor. Exhale into downward facing dog. From here we'll come into warrior one. Inhale and step your left foot forwards. Exhale, stand up. And then you should be just about set up in warrior one with your left foot pointing towards the short end of your mat. Right toes are kind of pointing towards the front right corner of your mat. Left knee bent. Arms, and then we'll do this one. I can't remember what this one's called. Bird wing. So elbows are next to your wrist, hands start off in front. Inhale and spread your fingers. On your exhale, take your arms and your hands out to the side, but you're keeping your arms sort of squashed in next to your rib cage. So it's just the hands travel to the side, but the arms are rotating. Inhale, hands come closer together. Exhale, hands out to the side. Squeeze your arm bones in next to your ribs. Great. Shoulders stay quite relaxed. Though try to access the muscles at the back of your armpits. And maybe like front of shoulders, like chest muscles a little bit too. Okay, release your arms. The next thing we'll do is archer arms. You're staying in warrior warrior one legs this whole time, left foot forwards. Take your left arm up and then drop your hand between your shoulders. Then take your right arm down and around and either link your hands or hold your hands onto your clothing, something like this. If either arm doesn't feel comfortable, then you could instead sort of bring that hand forwards onto the opposite shoulder if that doesn't work. Okay. Through this whole practice, if you're used to working with intention and focus, continue to explore inhaling the golden light and exhaling the grey smog. Great. Release your arms. Bring your right knee down to the floor. Put something soft underneath your right knee if you need to. And then you'll be setting up for like a lunge. So left foot is still forward. Right knee's on the floor, possibly on something padded. Top of the right foot's on the floor. And then reach your arms forward. Ground down through your left foot and also through your right leg, whatever parts of your right leg are in contact with the floor. Notice if you're more alive in one leg than the other. Feel if you can get both legs supporting you equally, even though they're kind of doing different things. Okay, relax your arms down. If you don't want to do a half sun salutation now, stand up and come into mountain pose and work with that visualization for a few rounds of breath. If you want to do the half sun salutation, then you step your left foot back, bring your hands to the floor. Inhale and come into plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale into a cobra. Keep the front of your hips on the floor and make sure your shoulders are moving down. Exhale and come into downward facing dog. You might need to move your hands back so they're more level with your chest. Now we'll all come into warrior one. Step your right foot forwards and then set up. So right foot's pointing towards the short end of your mat. Left foot's kind of pointing towards the front left corner of your mat. And then we'll do bird wing arms again. So inhale and set up with your elbows next to your waist, hands in front. Exhale, take your hands out to the side, squeezing your upper arms in. Moving with your breath. Legs in warrior one. Then come into archer. Take your right arm up and drop it between your shoulder blades. Hold onto your clothing. Left arm goes around the other way. So one elbow is pointing up, one elbow is pointing down, hopefully the other way around to last time. If your rib cage is jutting forwards, bring your front lower ribs into your body. This is not a back bend. Okay, release your arms and set up for lunge with your left knee down. So bringing your left knee down onto your mat or onto a cushion or whatever you need to do. Right foot still forwards, and then your arms reach forwards. Relax your arms down. Either step forward into mountain pose or come through the half sun salutation. Inhaling and stepping into plank. Reach back with your heels. Exhale, come down to the floor. Inhale, pull your chest forwards into a mini cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards. And we'll come into warrior two now. So if you're already standing up, face one of the long sides of your mat. And then set up so you're doing warrior two. So this time you're more facing the long side of your mat. Feet are very wide apart. Left toes are out 90 degrees, right toes are in a little bit. From here, we'll do extended warrior variation. You will actually need a block in a moment. So have a block if you've got one, and it doesn't matter if you don't. Have it that somewhere near your left foot. Inhale and bring your left forearm down onto your left thigh. Exhale and take your right arm behind your back. Let the right hand side of your chest roll back. Yeah. And then check what you're doing with your head and neck. Have your head and neck somewhere comfortable. Then we'll move towards half moon. If you have a block, take your left hand onto the block, have it a little bit in front of and a little bit to the left of your left foot. Then bring your weight into your right foot and explore lifting bring your weight into your left foot. So you're balancing your left foot, right leg lifts up. Left hand is on the block. Keep your arm behind your back and continue to work it like twisting your right chest back. Lifting your leg towards a horizontal. Soften any tension in your jaw or your shoulders. And use your core here. Use your core to help you support the weight of your leg. Okay, reach back with your right leg. Bring the foot to the floor. And then bring your knee to the floor and then set up for pigeon with your left knee forwards. So come all the way down to the floor and then rearrange yourself so your left knee is in between your hands. Right leg is reaching back. And then bring your elbows down to the floor or lean forwards. Coming into pigeon. Inhaling the golden light. Exhaling the smog. And then ease yourself out of that. Either make your way back up to mountain pose, standing upright on your mat, or take yourself through a half sun salutation, inhaling into plank, exhaling, lowering down, inhaling to cobra, exhaling to downward dog. Warrior two on the other side. Step your right foot forwards. And then so you're setting yourself up this time, facing alongside of your mat again. Warrior two legs with your feet quite wide apart. Right toes turned out 90 degrees. Left toes turned in a bit. So you know where you're at with warrior two. Feet are really quite wide apart for warrior two. And then we did extended warrior variation first. So right forearm on your thigh, left arm behind your back. If you're dropping your weight down into your right arm, lift up your ribcage away from the leg. And this time you're rolling your left shoulder back, or your left chest back. Finding a comfortable position for your neck and head here. Next pose is half moon. This is where the block will be handy if you have one. So the block will go now in front of or to the right of the right foot. And then you're balancing on your right foot, left leg lifting up towards the horizontal. And then also working to like rotate here, so you're still rolling your left chest back. The top hip is rolling back as well. Again, keeping your neck somewhere comfortable. Okay, bend your knee, bring your foot down to the floor, and then set up to do pigeon with your right knee forwards. So, coming all the way down onto your mat. Positioning yourself with your right knee in between your hands. Left leg reaching back. And then lying down. Your foot, the foot on the bent leg is sort of moving towards it's like your right foot moving towards your left hand a little bit. Coming down onto your elbows or just lying down. Continuing to breathe in the golden light. Exhale the smog. And then make your way onto your hands and knees. And do some hip circles. So take your hips back. Then inhale, hips out to one side and forwards. Exhale, take your hips to the other side and back. Do 2 more in that direction. And then once your hips go back, change the direction of your circles. Do 3 circles going around the other way. And then make your way onto your back to do Happy Baby. So if you lie on your back and then reach up for your feet, hold on to your feet, or hold on to your shins, or hold on to the back of your thighs. And gently rock from side to side. With your head relaxed on the floor if you can. And then release your legs, bring your feet to the floor. And now anything you want to do to make yourself comfortable to rest for a few minutes. If you need any extra clothing, or you want to cover your eyes or switch the lights off or wrap yourself in a blanket, anything like that, sort yourself out now so that you can rest comfortably. Finding whatever support you need to be comfortable. And then close your eyes. Inhaling the golden light to your skull, your spine. Exhaling any grey smog. Continuing to let go of any tension, any stress, anything you've stirred up and want to let go of. Just with every exhale, without effort, without trying. Simply letting go. Bring your awareness to your physical body and any sensation that you feel right now. And then as you begin to move, notice those sensations. Then bend your knees and roll onto one side. And then from your side, sit back up. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you'd like to practice with me again, I do have a few classes out there for free on YouTube. Or if you're an Inspiratrix Yoga member, log on to my virtual yoga vault where there's over 100. We gave up counting after about 140. There's loads of videos in my virtual yoga vault that you can enjoy anytime you like. If you want to become an Inspiratrix Yoga member, and you'll also get access to monthly workshops and also classes on Zoom, have a look in the description below. It's an incredibly good value yoga membership scheme where you get to practice with me in person. See you again soon.